It's a Fiorenzato F64 Evo commercial coffee grinder. 1.5 kilo hopper, 64 mm steel burrs, grind adjustment collar, LCD screen, single, manual, double shot, grind activation button, and a portafilter holder fork thing that lets you hands-free grind while you wing chun your customers. No, don't wing chun your customers. So the fan at the back cools the motor and not the grinding chamber. So the fan will start when the grind chamber gets a bit hot. That's where the temperature sensor is. Or it's like somewhere here. Somewhere here. It grinds pretty fast for 64 mm. It's about 6.5 seconds for a double shot. And this button is only activated when you press one of these two buttons, right? Yeah, so it only activates when you press that button. If not, the grinder won't grind at all. So to change your grind size, you press it down and then you turn it and it's really smooth. And then once you're done, you release that and it's locked. Nobody will be able to change your settings or calibration unless they really wanted to. And then what you do is you naughty. So this is what you would call a stepless grinder, which means that there is no maximum and minimum, or there's no fineness and coarseness per se in terms of the number scale, because for fineness you can turn it all the way until the burrs touch, and if you want to access the burrs you can go coarser, which is this way, until the whole top comes off. I'm going to just turn it, exhibiting my finger strength. So you can just lift the whole collar off, so you can see the screws that tighten and coarsen, and make the grind finer. This is the screws that pushes the burrs towards. So the top screw is screwed on to this this collar here. Can you see? So this is where the top burr is, and this collar basically pushes it down towards the bottom screw, making it finer by way of just, yeah, like that, right? What you can do now is you can clean the area with a vacuum. This would be the way to change your burrs as well. You can unscrew this and vacuum all these really hardened coffee grounds. And once you're done changing your burrs or inspecting your burrs, because sometimes you're just itchy and you want to look at stuff, you can put it back. And it's the same, it's really straightforward to put it back. So the way that I would normally recommend this first is to go coarser until you feel that it's really, really loose and it's smooth, and then you slowly go finer. And the reason for this is we want to match the threads so that you don't cross thread, which means that, you know, if this is the thread here and this is the thread on the grinder, you don't want it to like cross and then it gets stuck. And don't let that happen, because you'll be in deep shit. And nobody in this world wants to be in deep shit. The best way that you can get back to your original calibration is you would basically tighten this until it doesn't tighten anymore, which is still doing, and then we'll just skip to when it's tightened. So now we've got it to the finest setting, and in a way the finest is when the burrs kind of touch, or there's so much resistance that you can't really turn the collar anymore. So once you've reinstalled your top burr, what you want to do is you want to get back to 0, and this is the 0. Do make sure that you've got no coffee left in between the burrs, because that can mess with your actual 0. But then what you would do now is you go a little bit coarser, And usually what you can do is you can use about the same number as you were at before you remove the burr. So let's say number 5. Yeah, so there's this removable thing that you can use to help you with your grind size adjustments. Don't break this one either, or else you have to use like hot glue to get it out. But what will happen is now you're on number 5 and you'll put on the hopper again, you'll put your coffee in, and then you'll pull a couple of test shots, and then from there you'll kind of want to start to go finer. You don't want to do it the other way, because if the burrs are touching, the burrs will kind of jam up and they may lock together, and then you're in deep shit again. So do it this way. It's much safer for you, your grinder, and your mental health. So is this the grinder for you and your business? We do recommend most of our customers get this grinder to start. The reason is because it's a consistent grinder. It's got a fan in the back that will kind of actively remove heat from the system, and that slows down your burrs heating up too much and your calibration running away. It's a robust grinder, so at our peak, while we were using this in our cafe, we were running about 60 to 75 kilos a month on this grinder, and no reliability issues whatsoever except for burr changes. It's also not very expensive to change burrs. I've also shown you how to remove the burr sets and to change them yourself, so you can actually purchase the spare parts. Also clean and maintain the grinder by yourself. Finally, because of all these factors, the grinder is pretty much future-proof in most instances. So if you ever need to upgrade your machine, or you need to buy from a single group to a 2 group, the grinder can keep up. And that's most of your commercial worries solved, right? So consistency, reliability, and affordable maintenance, as well as future-proofing. In terms of the second-hand market, these grinders don't show up that often, but even when they do, the prices are not much lower than when purchased new. So you do have a little bit of resale value there in the event that you decide to upgrade your equipment. So that's all for now. Like and subscribe. We'll see you again soon. Perhaps in the next episode, there'll be something a little bit different, not just coffee gear. And we hope to keep things fresh. Thanks very much for watching.